Murder victim identified.
This is not a random act of violence.
Her stabbing death now making international headlines. Ontario celebrates a historic grand opening.
With this project, we're looking 50 to 100 years down the road.
The multi-million square foot state-of-the-art facility that's creating thousands of local jobs. And truck tolls on Huron Church Road.
We're going to set up a booth on Huron Church Road.
The Ontario Trucking Association calling the proposal harmful.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. LaSalle police have confirmed the identity of the woman stabbed to death on a sleepy suburban street earlier this week. Tonight we're learning more about Nancy Grewal. Let's go straight to CTV's Robert Lothian with more. And Robert, a lot of new information in the past 24 hours.
Yes, Stephanie, the murder of Nancy Grewal is garnering international attention with media in India and abroad latching on to this story. But it happened right here in our community with the 45-year-old Windsor woman killed on LaSalle's Todd Lane on Tuesday night. Countless Indian publications and even People magazine are covering the case. Grewal has been identified as a social media content creator who shared lifestyle videos and commentary on India-Canada politics. Her death has sparked widespread speculation online about a possible motive. LaSalle Police Chief Michael Pierce addressing those claims today, saying investigators are considering all information.
We receive a number of inquiries from media asking about different narratives they've heard and different motives. And so we wanted to share that, especially with the citizens of LaSalle, that this is not a random act of violence. We believe Ms. Grewal was the subject of an intentional act of violence.
Tonight, we're also hearing from the Service Employees International Union, or SEIU, which represents more than 60,000 healthcare workers in Ontario. The union identifying Grewal as a personal support worker, saying she was working alone Tuesday night when the stabbing took place. The union says this incident spotlights concerns about PSWs working alone. The SEIU was unable to confirm if she was attending to a client at their home at the time or any information pertaining to this investigation. Now, Chief Pierce says LaSalle police are working with the Windsor police as the investigation continues, with Grewal having lived in the city. The chief is again stressing to residents that they have no reason to fear for their safety. Stefanie.
Okay, and of course, we're looking to have more information tonight on our 11 o'clock newscast. Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. Thank you, Robert. A project 4 years in the making is tonight officially part of Windsor's manufacturing base. Today, heavy hitters and dignitaries from across Windsor, Essex, Ontario, Canada, and overseas are in Windsor for the grand opening of the Next Star Energy plant. And our Michelle Molesky was there. She joins us to explain what exactly happened today. An exciting day.
It was a very exciting day. I was very pleased with this assignment today. It certainly was an auspicious day in Windsor's history. For years, we've been watching the battery plant turn from a vacant farm field into a sprawling factory that it is today. So let's take a quick look back. How did we get here? The battery factory was first announced in March 2022, 4 years ago exactly. Construction began 9 months later in November of that year. It continued until May 2023. Now, that's when there was a disagreement between Nexstar and the government over subsidies that auto companies were getting from governments at the time. But work resumed in July. That paved the way for sample production to begin in February 2024. By that fall, the factory was pumping out modules before construction of the building was even complete. Construction officially announced as complete in September of last year. By November 2025, the factory was in full electrode and cell production. A final note in the timeline. Just a few weeks ago, Stellantis announced they had formally sold their stake in the company to LG Energy alone. So that brings us to today. It started with the media tour. We weren't allowed to bring in our cameras or even our cell phones along for the tour because we were told of the the proprietary nature of the business. Plus, we were all in full PPE, gown, hard hat, hairnet, face mask, safety goggles, and covers over our feet. The media wasn't allowed to wander anywhere in the factory. Escorts took us to the bathroom, for example, which is probably fair because I might have gotten lost in the factory. It is that big. To get to the start of the tour, we had high-end golf carts to shuttle us to the start of the production line. Making battery cells is a very complicated thing. I can tell you that with much certainty. It starts, of course, with the raw materials. Energy storage systems and automotive batteries use very different raw materials. They call that mixture their secret sauce. The materials are laid down onto cells, which are about 4 inches wide and a little bit longer than a legal piece of paper. The factory itself is so unlike Windsor Assembly, for example. Of all the production lines are behind glass. The workers are on the outside looking in, monitoring the robotics from elaborate computers and video footage of everything that's happening. Once the battery cell is completed, it gets laminated. And I was surprised at how heavy the cell actually is, how stiff it is, and not at all flexible. It's really only about the width of a small pad of paper. Each cell is stacked together, then to form that module, thousands of those can go into a finished auto battery or, of course, an energy storage system. Now, admittedly, I am oversimplifying the whole production process, so apologies to the team of engineers and scientists at the plant who are pumping out 40,000 cells every day. So, this brings us to the formal part of today's event. It was a who's who of Windsor, Essex, on hand inside the main factory with dignitaries and politicians who officially opened the factory this afternoon.
1, 2, 3.
Nexstar Energy is officially open for business. 1,300 people work here.
We found a workforce shaped by generation of manufacturing excellence, a community that understands the pride of building something real.
Company officials won't say how long it will be or what it will take to get to the 2,500 jobs promised by Nexstar and the government.
We commend LG Energy and Nexstar for their versatility in pivoting to maintain production in a changing marketplace and for your ongoing commitment to Canadian workers.
Nexstar was initially supposed to be about building electric vehicle batteries. LG officials admit the interest in EVs just isn't there yet. And then the company faced uncertainty when Stellantis sold their stake in the company, according to Korean politicians.
At that important moment, LG Energy Solutions made a clear choice. LG chose to stay in Ontario, Canada. LG chose to protect jobs. LG chose to honor its commitment. That decision deserves the recognition.
The factory carries with it substantial subsidies from the upper levels of government. And although neither on hand could say how much Nexstar has received to date, they say the investment was a wise move.
There's a difference between politicians that look year by year on their budgets and politicians that look 50 years down the road and 100 years down the road. And with this project, we're looking 50 to 100 years down the road.
Industry Minister Mélanie Joly says when the deal was inked for Nexstar, Canada was competing against the American Inflation Reduction Act to land investment. Joly says the Americans have now turned their back on that act.
It's up to them to take their own decisions. We thought that we needed to double down on these investments. We thought it was important to continue notwithstanding because the U.S. could take other decisions eventually. But we were on the right path, and we're convinced we're still on the right path.
There was a 50-50 partnership between the federal and provincial government for a portion of the $5+ billion building here. So, we would have been a percentage of that shared equally.
An LG official told us today automotive batteries might have been the start of this project, but the company sees a great opportunity in energy storage system. They say being able to store power when it's made, but before it's needed, is a big business across North America, particularly in areas with manufacturing. However, Stefanie, they also told us the factory is ready to pivot to automotive batteries if and when that industry starts to take off here in Canada. And it's not a if, it was always when EVs take off, they're ready to start pumping out electric vehicle batteries.
That's good to hear. Okay, let's talk about the security again, because we haven't seen that before here in Windsor.
I was very surprised. Like, you can't just walk into Windsor Assembly. I acknowledge that, but the factory is very, very different in that at Windsor Assembly, their workers are actively touching the minivans in doing that very important work that they do. At Nexstar, there is no human interaction, physical, between the manufacturing process until it gets all the way to the end and it's laminated and it's made into this big battery. So it was a really interesting day.
I was just going to say, very interesting, and I'm, again, jealous of the assignment.
It was a great assignment.
Okay, Michelle Molesky, thank you for this great coverage.
You're welcome.
Okay, in other news, a 22-year-old Windsor man already facing firearm charges is back in police custody after officers say he breached his bail conditions for a second time in less than 3 months. Police say Tyrell Patterson was under house arrest when bail compliance officers spotted him driving in the city Wednesday afternoon. Officers say he fled on foot after leaving a business on Huron Church Road, but was quickly arrested after a short chase. Investigators also say they seized a small amount of cocaine during the arrest. As we first reported last night, Windsor's mayor is floating the idea of tolling trucks traveling to the Ambassador Bridge along Huron Church Road, at least temporarily. Windsor's mayor Drew Dilkens says the move could help the city recover the cost of maintaining the busy corridor until the Gordie Howe International Bridge opens. But the proposal is already drawing mixed reaction from residents and pushback from the trucking industry. CTV's Chris Campbell reports.
The idea would see trucks heading to the Ambassador Bridge paying a toll along Huron Church Road, a stretch that has long served as Windsor's main international trade corridor. Mayor Drew Dilkens says if the new Gordie Howe International Bridge doesn't open on schedule, the city should be able to recover some of the costs tied to heavy truck traffic moving through local neighborhoods.
So if there's going to be barriers put up to the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge, guess what? We want to make sure that our expenses are made whole. One way to do that is to allow the municipality to collect tolls from trucks accessing the Ambassador Bridge on Huron Church Road.
Dilkens says the city would set up a toll booth and collect fees from trucks traveling to and from the bridge, but the plan would require approval from the province.
We're going to set up a booth on Huron Church Road. We're going to make sure the infrastructures on Huron Church Road will collect from every truck that's getting to and from the Ambassador Bridge.
Residents who live near the corridor say the idea raises questions, though not everyone is convinced it would make a difference.
I use the street regularly. It's a mess, that's for sure.
I don't think it will really change anything. I mean, they got to get over there one way or another, right?
I think it's bad.
Why is that?
Because we have enough expenses. Everything costs lots of money.
The trucking industry is also pushing back. The Ontario Trucking Association says adding tolls along an already congested route simply doesn't make sense. In a statement, Director of Policy and Industry Awareness Program Lac Schoen says the proposal does not make sense from a practical perspective by adding additional stops on an already congested stretch of road. The group warns the tolls could drive up costs for businesses that rely on the Windsor-Detroit trade corridor, adding imposing additional costs at a time of economic uncertainty would directly impact local businesses and further strain supply chains. While in Windsor, Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he's open to the idea.
Well, first of all, I've always said I'm against tolls, but in this case, you know, what I love about Mayor Dilkens, this guy thinks outside the box.
At this time, the proposal remains just that, a proposal, as the city looks to the province for approval while waiting for the long-anticipated Gordie Howe International Bridge to open later this year. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
We want to hear from you. Should transport trucks pay tolls on Huron Church Road? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday we asked, are you worried about gas prices rising? More than 500 people voted, 77% say yes. Now, companies that paid American import tariffs that were later struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court could be getting refunds. A judge with the U.S. Court of International Trade says all importers who paid President Donald Trump's Liberation Day and fentanyl-related duties are entitled to refunds. The U.S. High Court concluded last month that the national security statute Trump used to impose his wide-ranging tariff campaign on most of the world did not allow for tariffs. Okay, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for our first look at the rainy forecast. Gary.
Good evening, Stephanie. Good evening, folks. We continue to be drenched right across the heart of southern Ontario with this system. Some embedded heavy shower activity near Sarnia. We even see some of that pinkish hue. That's freezing rain, ice pellets, rain itself, maybe even some wet flakes, a mixture. There's a possibility, but I think more so it's steady rains and the misty conditions tonight into a drizzly morning. But temperatures are on the way up and then some. I'll break down what you need to know on all fronts, pun intended, of course, just ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
As the war in the Middle East widens and lengthens, the U.S. and Israel hit deeper into Iran, while Iran adds to its targets at least 12 countries so far. CTV's Adrian Gobriel is near the NATO air base in Turkey that was targeted by Iran.
The screams of young children can be heard as one of two Iranian drones slams into the ground near a school. A second hitting this airport terminal. Azerbaijan's president has vowed to crush Iran with an iron fist after he says 4 drones were fired into his country. Iran has denied any connection to the attacks, instead blaming Israel.
Iran is exporting the war, trying to expand it to as many countries as they can to sow chaos.
In Tehran, an ever-intensifying onslaught from above rocked the city for a 6th straight day, where more than 1,000 people are now said to be dead. In parts of Beirut, concrete carnage where neighborhoods once stood. Traffic jams now line the streets with panicked civilians after the Israeli military ordered the evacuation of hundreds of thousands from the southern suburbs of Lebanon's capital city.
Antidrone, antimissilistica.
This all comes as confirmation from Rome today that Italy is sending air defense systems to the Gulf. Spain also announcing it's sending its Christopher Columbus frigate to Cyprus to join a French aircraft carrier and Greek naval ships. Great Britain now has 4 fighter jets en route to Qatar. With each passing day, more NATO members are being drawn in.
It's affecting us. It's affecting the entire globe. This is a global conflict.
CTV News is currently stationed near the Incirlik Air Force Base in the southern Turkish city of Adana, along the eastern Mediterranean, where Turkish and U.S. NATO air forces have been stationed for decades. Just yesterday off the coast of the NATO base, an Iranian ballistic missile was shot out of the sky by NATO forces as it entered Turkish airspace. While Iran has denied targeting Turkey, one former NATO commander says he has little doubt about the aim of that Iranian missile.
They're going after that airbase by design. Ballistic missiles are aimed. They know what the flight path is. These Shahed drones are aimed. They know what the flight paths are. This does not happen by mistake.
And make no mistake, this is now a conflict forcing the hand of several NATO nations across the globe. The multiple drone strikes in Azerbaijan makes this the 12th country to accuse Iran of firing deadly warheads in their direction since this war began. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News.
Now, the Prime Minister not ruling out military action. So now the question becomes, what would it mean if Canada got involved? CTV's senior correspondent Judy Trin on that.
As the war in Iran escalates, the Prime Minister has not ruled out military participation.
One can never categorically rule out participation. We will stand by our allies when it makes sense. There's a distinction between the offensive actions that were taken and are being taken by the United States and Israel, that were taken by them without consultation with Canada, with other allies.
For now, the Canadian Armed Forces is focused on keeping 200 members out of the line of fire.
We've been focused on the force protection of our people, which means dispersing and staying in locations if the force protection is acceptable. In some cases, relocating them to a different country in the region, or in some other cases, redeploying them to Canada.
So far, about 20 personnel have returned to Canada. The federal government has not yet requested help in extracting citizens from the danger zone, but the military says it is preparing contingency plans.
We are in the process of deploying 6 people as liaison officers to make sure that we're prepared should such a request come in, but we do not have any such request yet, nor have we moved major assets like ships or airplanes.
In Canada, there is support for toppling the Iranian regime, but both the U.S. and Israel began bombing without engaging the United Nations or its allies.
It should be up to Parliament itself to say yay or nay on whether or not we're ever going to be deploying our troops into a conflict.
The military is preparing for all possible outcomes, but at this moment, they have not been asked by the government to join Operation Epic Fury, nor have they been asked to help with civilian evacuations. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Back here at home, Essex County has voted against a motion that would shift the burden of the new green bin program onto reserves.
I am not going to go into reserves to pay for it. We should have thought of that at budget, or it'll be up to the next council to think about it at the next budget.
Council debated using millions in reserves to ease the immediate impact on taxpayers. In recent months, residents have pushed back over green bin user fees, feeling the cost lacked transparency. However, county staff warned tonight against relying on reserves for programs, stating it's unsustainable. Instead, County Council is looking at moving the compost fee onto the general tax levy.
Looking into the future to phase in the county levy, I think that's important. You know, you look in that report and you see a 9% tax increase if it's done once, which is a significant amount. It's a significant amount. So I think we have to do everything we can to be able to ease that in.
The attempt here was that there would be an opportunity for us to be able to mitigate that a little bit, utilize rate stabilization reserves to offset it, and then later on to consider using that time to bring the cost down and come up with other solutions.
The council didn't see it that way, voting 11-3 against the motion. Lakeshore Mayor Tracy Bailey says some residents feel they didn't receive enough communication about the proposed changes to waste collection across the region. She adds the motion was meant to ease the financial burden on residents while the region works towards a long-term solution, something the next council, as you just heard, may have to continue tackling.
I know some residents are, lobbying around wondering whether or not there's an opt-out, and there's not been an opt-out, so there's no ability to do that. So what comes next in terms of trying to mitigate cost across the region for residents when it comes to garbage, organics, and recycling is yet to be seen.
Have thoughts on the green bin discussion? Maybe a great story idea for us? Send us a text at 10400. You can also send photos and videos too. Also, Hats On for Healthcare is back with a day-long radiothon supporting Windsor Regional Hospital. The 4th annual event ran today at Met Campus, broadcast live on AM 800 CKLW, Virgin Radio, and 89X. The 12-hour event aimed to raise $100,000 for critical medical equipment and specialized programs. Donors can direct their support to more than 40 areas of care, including cardiology, oncology, and pediatrics. Organizers say the broader Hats On for Healthcare campaign has become a tradition that really does highlight the generosity of this community.
We've got up to 40 different programs that we're supporting here at Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. We've raised over $700,000, and it's gone to programs like cardiology and pediatrics and oncology, and it's honestly about, again, filling that gap where the community gets to really make that impact.
A much-needed school in Lakeshore is on the way. CTV's Bob Belichico shows where the school will be located and how it will make a difference.
Perfect location for this school.
Lakeshore is growing rapidly, according to Mayor Tracy Bailey, and a new elementary school is being embraced.
Lakeshore continues to expand. It's the fastest growing municipality, so we know how much work it takes to arrive at a day like today, so everybody's been hard at work for a very long time.
A yet-to-be-named school is being built by the Greater Essex County District School Board on Rourke Line at Gerard Drive. It is projected that the new school will draw upwards of 600 new students and help alleviate some of the population pressures being felt by neighboring schools.
There's Bell River Public School and then Lakeshore Discovery. Both are over capacity.
In the heart of the community, the $22 million school will be built using isolated concrete forms for a faster and energy-efficient build. The project was slated to start in late January, but the frost from the colder than usual winter has caused the delay.
By the time we get going, probably about a month and a half. But again, the anticipation here of using the ICF, the speed of construction, so we're trying to get back the lost time.
As for the name of the school, a bill is going through the legislative process, meaning a name won't be picked until later this year.
Hopefully, like April, May-ish, we'll have a better idea.
The school is slated to open in September of 2027. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
When the home team played, it was packed and it was loud.
Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, Captain Canada Tyler McGregor talks playing para-hockey at the highest level and how that compares to the rush of being a kid in a small town arena. As we get closer to the kickoff of the 2026 Winter Paralympic Games, we continue our series showing off some para-hockey players from this side of London. Tonight, CTV's Travis Fortnum returns to introduce us to perhaps the biggest name in the sport these days. Travis, tonight we're talking, of course, about Tyler McGregor.
That's right, and Tyler McGregor lives right here in the Windsor area, but he grew up a little up the road in Forest, Ontario. He is the captain of Canada's Paralympic hockey team and has been since 2019. He's on cereal boxes, in commercials, he's even on the side of a plane. But before all of that, Tyler McGregor was just a kid from Forest, Ontario, who lived walking distance from the rink.
I started playing hockey before my 3rd birthday, so I've spent pretty much my entire life playing.
In Forest, hockey wasn't just a sport, it was life, with the old community arena packed for playoffs.
When the home team played, it was packed and it was loud. And you know, when you're so young, like my dreams were just to represent my hometown team in a Silver Stick tournament and have the opportunity to play there.
At 15 years old, that dream nearly ended.
I fractured my tibia fibula in a hockey game, went through that recovery process and discovered I had spindle cell sarcoma, which is a form of soft tissue bone cancer.
He underwent chemotherapy with his leg amputated above the knee, but he held on to hope he could get back on the ice.
For me, I was looking for a new opportunity to continue to play hockey competitively. That came in the form of para-ice hockey. The first time that I saw it was in the hospital watching the Vancouver Paralympics.
14 years later, he's the captain of Team Canada, a 3-time Paralympic medalist, and on Friday, a flag bearer for his country. But when he enters a packed arena now, he still thinks about that old barn in Forest.
It's all relative to when I was 7 years old watching the 16-year-olds play. Like, there's nothing really like competing against the best in the world at what you do in front of a packed crowd.
Tyler McGregor converts that and buries it.
Today, McGregor lives in the Windsor area with his fiancée, but his hometown is never far.
The journey through life, but even, you know, to the Paralympic, it's certainly not just a solo endeavor. There's so many people that are involved in making it happen and making it special.
His fiancée, of course, being Meg Roberts from Mornings with Mike and Meg on our sister station, AM 800. McGregor and Team Canada play their first game Saturday against Slovakia, and tomorrow we'll talk about the sport on a more local level. Stefanie.
Okay, Travis Fortnum, thank you for this. And as you just heard, tomorrow, we've met the hometown heroes. And how about, have you ever thought about giving the sport a try yourself? We will introduce you to a local team offering a shot at the sport for potential future Paralympians. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. The Windsor Spitfires are losing one of their top scorers at a crucial point in the season. This is star forward Ethan Belchez greeting the teammates before practice on Wednesday. The 17-year-old is back home in Oakville after breaking his left clavicle at practice on Tuesday. He is out indefinitely and is expected to undergo surgery. The former first overall pick was leading the team with 34 goals and will miss the playoffs for a second straight year. Belchez is expected to be a top pick in this year's NHL entry draft. Like last year, players will have to step up in his absence.
Our veterans that were here last year will understand that, and every team goes through it. We're hoping for a quick recovery for them, but also our depth is why we are where we are, and other guys will step up here.
Canada's main stock index was down today as the price of oil rose. In Toronto, the TSX is down 333 points. In New York, the Dow lost 785, the Nasdaq dropped 59. The Canadian dollar fell 0.07 of a cent. Gold lost $56 an ounce. Oil gained $6.35 a barrel. Detroit's first female mayor is preparing for a milestone. The plans for her first State of the City address, that's still ahead.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Di Bedard for this image of the moon. If you've got an image, text it to us at 10400. Remember, shoot it in the rain horizontally. Horizontally in the sunshine. Horizontally in the cold, the warmth. Hey, speaking of warmth, there's some coming our way. Imagine that. Temperatures near 20 degrees. We'll talk about it next.
Rainy, foggy outside. Gary joins me again. Gary, I'm loving this Money Mayhem contest.
It is a great contest, and the pin number, which all of us should know for tomorrow, is 1367. Of course, you want to visit our website, ctvwindsor.ca, and enter it there so that when you listen to Mike and Meg at 8:37 a.m. tomorrow morning, they might be calling you to play. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about the rain. Mild temperatures promised are coming tomorrow and through the weekend, but we still have to deal with the wet conditions. It was soggy as forecast in the morning, really picked up in the afternoon as forecast. We reached a high near 5.5 degrees between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. Our average is 4, so it's seasonal, but just very wet. And it's going to be drizzly through this evening as well. Why is this happening? An area of low pressure dominates the region. Meanwhile, air quality within our airspace remains relatively good. So not much to see there. However, the winds pick up over the next couple hours, die down through the overnight, and then pick up again as we head towards Friday afternoon. So light winds, I would say, through the overnight, gusty tomorrow in the afternoon. By the way, there's even been a threat of some looming thunderstorm activity in the next couple of hours. Imagine that. 4 degrees at the airport in Windsor. That's 38, round up 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Chatham, Kent, a similar stat, 4 and 39. It feels cooler, though. +1 at the airport in Windsor, -1 in Chatham, Kent. So you need the extra layers to deal with the wet and the cold. Still cold across northern parts of Ontario into Quebec and much of the Maritimes and Atlantic Canada. Meanwhile, Alberta and BC are the bright spots on the map temperature-wise. above the freezing mark. This is a mess, and it continues to work its way through eastern Michigan into southern Ontario proper, where it counts for us, and further east from there towards the Golden Horseshoe. There's still a chance of some scattered showers between now and midnight, and then we will see 2, possibly 3 successive waves of rain as we head through tomorrow morning, afternoon, and into Saturday morning. I think the worst of it comes late Friday, overnight into early Saturday morning. Tonight, drizzle, maybe even some thunderstorm activity. Temperatures between 5 and 6 degrees Celsius between now and midnight. Take a look at our Enercare style 7-day forecast. Rainy tomorrow, but milder. 13 a.m. showers. More rain, but 17 on Saturday. Sunny on Sunday and Monday as of right now. 11 followed by 18, then 13, 10, and 4. Rainy Tuesday, showery Wednesday, fair a week from now, Thursday.
OPP say they've seized millions of dollars worth of suspected fentanyl linked to an interprovincial drug trafficking network. Back in May, investigators say they identified individuals trafficking fentanyl between the Greater Toronto Area and Calgary. Then in February, officers executed a search warrant in Brampton and seized 18 kilograms of suspected fentanyl. Police say that's equal to 180,000 potential lethal doses, with an estimated value of more than $2.3 million. One suspect was taken into custody. 3 others were arrested on drug trafficking charges in Alberta.
Coming up, we're going to talk about the cabaret, and Johnny, this time you are not allowed to sing.
We're going to leave it to Joe here.
How the world can change. It can change like that due to one little word, married.
Stop it. Stay tuned for more.
It's time for a weekly segment, What's Up YQG, with Johnny Parks from our sister station 89X, and of course our Melanie Kentner, featuring some musical theater.
Yeah, we're featuring cabaret this week, and Johnny, we're going to leave the singing to the professionals.
That's the best idea you've had in a while. We're here with Joe from BRC Theater Company. Can you tell us about the show?
Yeah, Cabaret is a musical that takes place in Germany in the late 1920s. It's at a time when the Nazis were rising in power and anti-Semitism was growing. And it follows the relationship of Clifford Bradshaw and Sally Bowles and Fräulein Schneider and Herr Schultz.
And how long have you been preparing for the production?
We had auditions in October and started rehearsals in November, and we rehearsed 2 days a week.
And what is your favorite part of the show?
The heart of it, and I guess it's the message that it gives, because things like this still go on today. We think that because we're not directly involved with things, that it doesn't affect us, but it does affect us.
Yeah, very important. And you're also in the production. Tell us about your role.
I'm playing Herr Schultz. I am a German, but also a Jew, and I have a fruit shop, and I'm in love with Fräulein Schneider. We were going to get married, but the Germans said I wasn't German, so she didn't marry me, and it was just a fine example. And I just go, well, you know, things will change, but they don't change unless you change them. So.
And if people want to see how this all works out in Cabaret, how can they get their tickets?
www.brctheaterco.com.
Great. Thanks, Joe. We will put the links on our website. Johnny, there's a few other things going on this weekend, including at the casino.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan's going to make us laugh again on Friday.
My wife was like, I want to go to Hawaii, and I want to bring the kids. And I was like, whose kids?
Yes, and the Windsor Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, they have Mendelssohn's Elijah, if I'm saying that correctly.
You are. Better than I said Margarita.
Mm-hmm. That would be hard not to.
And something maybe a little bit more speed at the Chrysler Theater.
Yeah, Seeger forever. Forever Seeger. If you like the Bob Seeger, that's going to be a great time.
So lots of everything, and that's What's Up YQG.
Detroit's mayor is set to deliver her first State of the City address later this month. The address is set for March 31st at a high school on Detroit's northwest side. Mary Sheffield was elected last year and is the first woman to serve as Detroit's mayor. She's expected to outline her office's priorities for the year ahead. City officials say the school was chosen to highlight a focus on neighborhoods and youth.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Step back in time to the Roaring 20s and join us for the Great Catsby Gala, a glamorous evening celebrating 100 years of caring at the Windsor-Essex County Humane Society. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Kate Otterbein. And Kate, let's go back to today's ceremony at Nexstar Energy.
Yes, Stefanie, today's event had dozens of people from Korea at the ceremony, including one of their top ministers. Canadian Industry Minister Melanie Joly introduced her Korean counterpart during his speech today, and the minister talked about how Canada stepped up during the Korean War, sending 26,000 soldiers to the conflict, many of them from Ontario. The Korean Industry Minister believes that history is a source of pride for many in this country.
The people of Korea do not forget. We remember the courage, we remember the sacrifice, and we remain deeply grateful. Today, we gather not a time of war, but in a time of turbulence and uncertainty. Yet, the spirit of partnership remains the same.
Our online coverage of this story includes a photo gallery from today's event and factory images. You'll find it at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Okay, and Kate, in Las Vegas, it seems like people are taking advantage of that At Par campaign at those 3 select hotels.
Yes, that campaign is at 3 hotels in the area, honoring the Canadian dollar, the same value as the American dollar. At the properties, there have been more than 15,000 Canadian visitors in the first month and more than 2,700 hotel bookings. CEO Derek Stevens says he wants Canadians to know that they are welcome at his hotels. The At Par campaign launched at the end of January and will go until the end of August. And in our social spotlight tonight, this old rhino gets a special spa treatment from zoo staff. This is Ma Kay. She lives at an open-range zoo in Australia. She is a great-great-grandmother in her 40s, and she's no longer physically able to roll in the mud herself and gets all those hard-to-reach places. And that's important for animals who live in the sun. Fun fact, if you didn't know. And I know 40 doesn't sound very old to us, but for rhinos, their lifespan is typically 35 to 40 years. So I think that warrants some spa days.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Everyone has, different ideas of what a spa is, but must be good for the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can do a mud bath, so can she.
Exactly. Should give it a try. Okay. Kate, if viewers at home have some cool video that they want to share with us, how can they do that?
Yes, you can send us an email at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
And that's what's happening now. Thank you, Kate.
Always just something I thought would be cool.
Still to come, it's a boat, it's a car. Actually, it's both. The boat car turning heads in Colorado. Wow, you can barely see out there. But Gary, I must tell you, when my 4-year-old daughter saw the umbrella today, her Disney Frozen umbrella, oh my God, her eyes lit up. She was so happy.
Wow, she's a delight. The weather, not so. But I'm glad she has the right attitude. No matter what the weather, put a smile on your face. It's up to us. I have to admit, I wasn't in the best of moods. Got a little wet this morning through the afternoon, and more of the same will happen. But I'm going to put a smile on my face right now, knowing that sunshine and warmer temperatures are headed our way. 13 tomorrow, still rainy. 17 on Saturday, still rainy. Sunny on Sunday, and Monday, 11, then 18, and then showery and little up and down. Temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the teens, then falling off. A week from now, we could be down to 4 degrees. So talk about a tumultuous change in terms of temperature trends over a short period of time. Tumultuous.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Finally, tonight we're inching closer to the perfect weather for going for a drive, maybe going for boating. Well, one man in the States found a way to get the best of both worlds. Samantha Hildebrandt explains.
It doesn't float, but it definitely makes waves. And yes, it drives. Owner Josh Bond has worked in the marine industry for more than 30 years, but this was just an idea until it actually worked.
I don't know, always just something I thought would be cool, and I never thought it would go as far as it has. And my wife thought I was absolutely insane for doing it.
Insane? Maybe. But sometimes the best ideas start that way. The boat keeps its original 1974 paint, and while Bond may be the captain, he says it took a crew to bring it together. From decals to custom upholstery, local hands help turn a car and an old boat into southern Colorado's newest roadside attraction.
Perfect boat weather.
Thank you.
And the reactions? That might be the best part.
That is really neat.
Thank you.
I bet you get wild look.
We have been. Have a good day. The most important thing that that I've noticed is just the smiles it puts on everybody's faces. I didn't really expect the attention. I wasn't going out for the attention. Like I said, I just wanted something different.
From stoplights to parking lots, drivers are doing double takes and reaching for their phones. And after taking it for a spin ourselves, I can confirm it rides like a car, even if it looks ready to sail.
Yeah, of course, it looks like it's ready to sail, but that will not be going in the water.
No, it won't be going in the water.
But imagine just going down EC Row. Then you see a boat.
We love cars here. Any form would do well. I'm sure he would have quite a gathering.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people would love it. Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
The two of us will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
See you then.